そんなものはどっちでも構わん。とにかく犯人はそいつを3の扉の奥へとぶち込んだんだろう。
ああ、おそらくな。
So that's why, I'm guessing that's why Junpei did the whole elaborate thing showcasing that he was using the bracelet on the thing, to showcase that you can just put a bracelet up to it. It doesn't technically need a hand attached to it. So now you're going to reveal, okay, yeah, you have the Ninth Man's
だ
bracelet.
ったら私一人だけでは犯行は不可能だ。その S 音やらと私だけでは3の扉は開けないんだからな。
いや、開けるんだな。
Yeah, I mean, we realized all of this way earlier.
なんだと？
Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. Yeah, we're almost at the end. You're about to break. This is just like my Danganronpas and my Ace Attorneys. You're sweating. The trap was about to close.
実はな、お前が意識を失っている間に抜き取らせてもらったものがあるんだよ。ほら、この大病室で麻酔薬を注射して眠りに落ちたことがあっただろう。
You're super lying here, I believe, but this might make Ace freak out and check his pockets, and then we'll know.
あの時のことだ。あの時、俺はお前の懐から。
Junpei put his hand into his pocket.
まさか。
Yep. You super fell for it, you dumbass. I was like, we definitely did not do that, but if we say it, then you're going to be like, no, you couldn't have. What a, wow, hook, line, and sinker for real. Okay. Played like a fiddle. Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled.
かかったな、一宮。その右手の動きが何よりの証拠だ。当ててやろうか。コートの内ポケットに何が入ってるのか。
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if he had been careful to check his pocket, like you'd think while he was walking around after that, he would verify that it was still there himself, and he would know, but even then in like a high-stakes situation like this, I guess, even if he knew 100% sure if he had been checking it, he might have freaked out and panicked anyway, I guess.
9番のバングルだ。
Yeah, I probably figured it out way later than most people did, but I figured it out a little early before the game just straight up reveals it to you, I guess. Yeah, I did that.
一宮、SO、9番のバングル。これら3社で認証を行えば、3の扉を開くことができる。
As I said before, it's super interesting seeing all of these things revealed because, like I said, I had heard a ton of things about this game, but as with most things, I never look at, like, spoilers or anything for it when, like, you know, people had conversations or anything, because I was like, well, maybe I'll play it one day and see it for myself. So, you know, I generally just try to remain unspoiled on all things unless I absolutely know I'm not going to play it. Like, it's just a game I'm never going to play. So, it's very interesting hearing all of the things that I've seen people talk about this game, like I mentioned at the beginning of the playthrough, where it was like I had heard very divisive things. It's interesting, like, experiencing it now, and I don't remember, like, all of, like, the things that people said about it and everything, but yeah, there's a lot going on here. This is interesting to finally see what was behind all of those conversations and people talking, because there was a bunch of spoiler tagging and I couldn't look at any of it, so it's interesting having a lot of those details filled in, though. 1 plus 2 plus 9 equals 12. Yeah.
つまり理想の殺害は一宮、あんた一人だけでも十分に可能ってことだよ。
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty easy to see across the specific path that I took. Like I said, Ace was just very suspicious from a very early point. You were just doing a lot of things that just, like, kind of set me on edge. I mean, I definitely had some incorrect calls. Like, I suspected June, and she has yet to murder me. But she gave me the creeps a little bit. But you were just too Mr. Nice Guy, dependable one in the group, and knew too much and made too many calls, basically. So that's why you were suspicious.
その懐に収められた9番のバングルさえあればな。
Yeah, he slowed his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. Uh-oh. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish.
白を切るならそれでもいい。バングルなんて持っていない。強弁したければそうすればいいさ。だがそのコートだけは脱いでもらおう。それが嫌なら、力ずくでも脱がせるまでだ。なあ、セブン。
Yeah, Seven's pretty big. We do know he's armed, though, so let's be a little bit careful.
おい任せろ
Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Oh. I expected way more of a laugh. You just said, I expected, like, I expected something like that. Ah, there we go. Yeah, give me the full supervillain laugh. Don't edge me like that. Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Ah, there's the look. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Where's the weird creepiness you gave me earlier?
お見事だよ、淳平君。確かに君の言った通り、私は今、9番のバングルを持っている。
I mean, it was a cute act, but like I said, I would have suspected your weird ass. I would have suspected your weird ass anyway. You were just throwing way too many flags off. I had you pegged from the get. I didn't quite had Clover murdering people down, and I didn't have the stuff with the mummy and all of this other shit going on, but you I pegged from the beginning, you little shit.
入手したのは抜き取られたレッドの基盤を全員で捜索していた時だ。あの時担当していた個室からこっそで B デッキの一等船室へと私は向かったんだ。
His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter. Yeah, I bet he's pretty good at that.
目的はもちろん9番のバングルを回収することにあった。このノナリーゲームにおいて9はオールマイティーな存在。どんな数字に9を足しても最初の数字根は変わらない。
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. That. Interesting. So maybe 9's always screwed at the beginning of the game. I'm also wondering if 9 maybe was somebody that also worked with Cradle, because like we saw that the Ninth Man kind of knew a little bit of what was going on. So maybe he was a member of Cradle too, and maybe that's why Zero was so willing to just totally screw him over and kill him at the beginning of the game, because he was the person that had put the game together. And if Zero is like some kind of vigilante getting back at them for doing the nunnery game in the first place, then that would check out why he was so willing to just kill the Ninth Man like that, effectively, because he definitely played the Ninth Man like a fiddle, and then, you know, Ninth Man effectively killed himself. Yep.
つまり9はとても使い勝手のいい数字ということだ。その番号が割り振られたバングルを持っているだけで。
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't really dove into the specifics of all of that, but that makes sense, and that makes, yeah, 9 pretty busted.
このゲームをかなり有利に展開することができる。だから私はそれを手に入れるために一等船室へ向かったんだ。そして私は9番のバングルの回収に成功した。さらにそこで思いがけの収穫があってね。そう、あの男が所持していたナイフ。あれを手に入れることができたんだよ。
I forgot about that. Yeah, he had the knife. That is the same exact knife. I did not pick up on that. Yeah, that's the same exact knife that he, yeah, okay, that he used at the beginning when he had a hostage. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's super where the knife came from. Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
私はそれらを回収し、速やかに一等船室を後にした。
I still want to know where Clover got that sick-ass axe, though.
そして階段を降りて担当の個室へ。戻りかけた時、私はニルスの、いや、実際には別人らしいが、その男の後ろ姿を見つけた。どうやら大病室の方へと向かっているらしいと気づいた私は、その男の後を追った。
I wonder if you can't, like, recognize people's faces, if you would still be able to tell by, like, their hair color or something. Because, like, I think even if you couldn't recognize faces, you'd be pretty hard-pressed to get, like, Clover and Lotus mixed up. Height and stuff, too.
ニルスの服を着たその男は、3の扉の前に佇んでいた。私は彼の元へ歩み寄り、その背中に向かって声をかけた。ニルスとね。男は振り返った。ほうけたように開かれた口からはいかなる言葉もこぼれては来なかった。意識が朦朧としているらしい。まるで無遊病患者のようだった。
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely not Snake. Same height and build, though.
何か睡眠薬のようなものでも飲んだのだろうか。
Maybe that's another Cradle Pharmaceuticals person? You listed 4 people. Maybe a 9th man would have been 1. Oh my god, that's probably it. 9th man was 1 Cradle Pharmaceuticals employee. Ace was the CEO. This is another one. And then the person wearing the 0 bracelet was the 4th one. Those are the 4 employees, and they were all here in the game the entire time. This guy I just had never seen any hint of until this particular moment. So maybe 0 worked with Snake somehow, or let Snake know, hey, give this person your clothes and go walk around the Snake and bait Ace into killing you. It seems wild. And if that's what happened, then assuming I'm correct about Snake, the one being in the coffin, why the hell did they put him in the coffin? That seems rude.
その程度の疑問は浮かんだが、すぐに消えてしまった。その男のことを完全にニルスだと思い込んでしまっていた私はこう考えた。こいつは9年前のノナリーゲームのプレイヤーだ。もちろん顔なんて覚えてはいないが、目が見えないという特徴を考えれば、そのことは自明だろう。
I was about to say, actually, I was about to be like, wait a second though, if all of these people are from Cradle, how does Ace not know them? But if he can't recognize faces, then yeah, that would check out. So I think that's who these 4 people are, these 4 random people that kind of popped up and seemed like they were out of place in the game.
だとすると、こいつは私のことを恨んでいるに違いない。
Or not 4 people, 3 people, rather, because Ace is one of them.
にもかかわらず、どうしてこいつは今まで私に何も言ってこなかったのだろう。接触を試みるような素振りさえ見せていない。
Okay, so you were just paranoid.
目が見えないから私のことに気づいていないのだろうか。あるいはこいつはゼロの仲間か何かで私のことをたばかろうとしているのだろうか。いずれにせよ私の過去を知っている人間がいるのは脅威だ。こいつが何か仕掛けてくる前に処分しておいた方が無難だろう。私はすぐに行動を開始することにした。9番のバングルをレッドにかざし、続けて自分も認証を済ませてから最後に男の腕を掴んで少々強引にスキャナーパネルを、そして開け放たれた3の扉の奥へと男を蹴り込んだのだ。
Why was he in a daze at all, and why is he seemingly, like, good to go now, when we also know once he got in there, Like, what was dazing him that he woke up out of it just after this little bit of time? Like, if he was like heavily drugged and really tripping, I don't know.
その9秒後、扉は自動的に閉鎖。さらに81秒が経過し、
The man inside the door passed away.
その後、私は何食わぬ顔をして担当の個室へと引き返した。そして午前1時の時報を耳にして、この大病室に戻ってきたというわけだ。
Ace's eyes were cold, and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed, then spoke.
四つ葉を殺したのも
I'm thinking he killed Clover because Clover
Why
had
not?
connections to Snake. Oh, I didn't know you weren't done yet, Junpei, sorry. I'm guessing he killed Clover because Clover had connections to Snake. That would be my guess.
その通り。
どうしてなぜ殺した
あいつはニルスの妹だ。ニルスから何か聞いてるかもしれない。そう思ったんだよ。それに、あのガキは1の扉に入ってしまった。ということは、もしかしたら、あれと接触してしまったかもしれない。
あれあれってな
The
んだ
Zero Bracelet, yeah.
あれはあれさ。なんなら、1の扉に入って見てきたらどうかね。おそらく、どこかに隠されているはずだ。
Seven and Lotus interrupted.
俺とヤシロだって1の扉には入ったぜ。
ええ。だけど特に怪しいものなんてなかったわ。
だろうな。大階段の前で報告を聞いた時からそうだろうと思っていたよ。君たちはあれを見つけられなかったんだ。だが四つ葉は違うかもしれん。さっきも言った通り、四つ葉はあれと接触した可能性があった。だから私は死に物狂いで彼女を探したんだ。やがてたどり着いた場所は一等船室。私は彼女のもとへ近づいていき、穏やかな声色で尋ねた。君はあれに会ったのかね。
あれって何？
I don't think this is about the Zero Bracelet.
届けるんじゃない。船長室で会ったんだろ。
さあ、何のこと？
うん、わかった。いいだろう。ところで四つ葉、こんなところで何をしてる？
何って別に。
靴の先に血がついてるが、つい最近ついたもののように見えるが。
Okay. Okay.
9番の男の死体でも見に行ったのかね。
Yeah.
なるほど。答えないということはどうやら四つ葉。君は気づいてしまったようだね。
And that's why she ends up killing me. Yeah, so this is basically getting the Zero Bracelet is a part of what you need to just, you know, get out of here. Like, by yourself, basically. Because then you can use that one and then someone else's to just, yeah, make it and get out that way.
あの男のバングルがなくなっていることに。
Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way.
逃がして！
He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard.
そんな なしくしろ。
She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run.
当てこ娘。
He was faster.
これが四つ葉殺害の経緯だ。
When did she have time to write the note? I'm guessing, like, after she was stabbed, she was still alive a little bit and wrote the note that way. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show.
てめえ。
Seven's whole body trembled with rage and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed.
とにかく私の負けだ。乾杯だよ。
Lost completely and utterly. That almost sounded like I recognized that voice. I need to see who Ace's VA is.
だが淳平君、勘違いしないでくれたまえよ。私は君に負けたわけではないぞ。
I feel like it's definitely a VA that I've heard in the many Yakuza games that I've played.
私が敗北を喫した相手とはゼロだ。私、今思えば、どうしてこんなわかりやすい罠にはまってしまったのかと。自分でも呆れるほどだよ。そう。これは罠だったんだ。私はまんまとゼロの術中にはまり、見事に踊らされてしまったんだ。
If you expect me to feel sorry for a CEO, I have bad news.
シャワー室で殺された男。SO とやらが何者なのかはわからない。だが、とにかくあの男にはニルスの服が着せられていた。
This is what I said, yeah, Snake and Zero were working together.
さらに抵抗を封じるためか、睡眠薬らしきものまで投与されていて。おまけにレッドには、抜き取られたはずの基板が突き刺さっていた。どう考えても、ゼロが全てを仕組んだとしか思えない。
The real question is why were all of us volunteered for this? Like, some of them make sense, like Snake, Clover, Santa, Lotus, Seven. What about me and June?
私にあの男を殺させるよう、ゼロがお膳立てを整えたんだ。つまり、ゼロには全てお見通しだったというわけさ。私がいずれ9番のバングルを回収するであろうことも、ニルスに対して殺意を抱くであろうことも、全部な。
Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them. For the innocent lives they sacrificed. Yeah, this is what made me think it's all like an elaborate thing, make them replay the game. So yeah, that's who the 4 people were, and you put all of this together for that, but I'm still unsure of why a few of the rest of us were subjected to this, because that feels a little rude. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. He remembered other words he'd heard from Clover.
多分ゼロはこの中にいると思う。
I mean, if it's really going the obvious route and Snake is Zero, I mean, that could make sense. I mean, I guess he has like the greatest chance of being Zero. I would say, I actually don't know. I can't point finger like Snake seems the obvious answer, but I don't know about that even. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Santa, June, 7, Lotus. I feel like weirdly enough, I still feel like you would be able to recognize even the little bit of glimpse we saw of Zero. I guess it wasn't that much of a glimpse, like potentially what their body size and shape would be. I feel like Snake, Santa... Let's see what Junpei has to say. My ideas would be dumb and pointless. Like I said, Snake's the most obvious answer because, like, swapping clothes, putting all of this together, like... I guess it wouldn't make a lot of sense if Snake was Zero, though, because would Snake really allow his sister to die in this game? That would be pretty fucked if so. So maybe it's not Snake. But Snake clearly had something to do in some sort of interaction with Zero. That was a very quiet read. Okay, got a lot out of that. A lot of which I knew, but some I didn't.
これで私の告白は終わりだ。そろそろ移動しないかね。
I'm curious. Where are we actually at on the flowchart? Wow, that was just one whole section, huh? Interesting, interesting. Sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more than nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw.
何を寝ぼけたこと言ってんだ！てめえなんざ置き去りにしていくに決まってんだろうが！
なぜ私が四つ葉を殺したからかバカバカしい。理解あんなクソガキ一匹殺したぐらいで何をそうムキになる必要がある
I mean... that's horrible, but it's also not even just that. You're directly responsible for the original version of this, and they're directly responsible for why we're here now. Because if you had never done the original game, you wouldn't be here now.
ただの他人じゃないか。ほんの数時間前に会ったばかりの。そうだろ。
I mean, I still just don't want random people to die, to be fair.
この野郎
Seven roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw. But someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his
い
nose.
きなりグーとは。はあ、いい度胸してるな。
Can I remind everyone that he is still armed, I'm pretty sure? Let's be a little bit safe here. Like, honestly, Seven, just pick up one of the hospital beds and beat the shit out of him with that.
だが嫌いじゃないぜ、お前みたいな気の強い女は。
He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow.
だったらもう一発お見舞いしてあげましょうか。
いや、その前に、もしかしたら私の方からも一発ぶち込ませてもらうことになるかもしれん。
え？
Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arm around her and pulled Lotus back up against him. Yeah, I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. Ah, you got the gun instead. Okay, so instead of Santa getting the gun, your ass grabs the gun. Oh my god. This is why I said we needed to watch the damn gun. How did we possibly walk out of that room without warning everybody? I mean, I guess, well, no, because we didn't like hold the doors open like Seven did. So you had to have gotten it when we were in there. I don't think you could have walked back in there and grabbed it otherwise, but maybe you could have done that. Maybe you didn't have to grab it while we were in there. The revolver. Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head.
指先一つでも動かしてみろ。私は迷わず引き金を引く。もうすでに2人も、いや、3人も殺してるんだ。ためらうことなど何もない。
3人ってどういうことですか？
いいだろう。この際だから教えてやろう。
3 people. So, Guy X, Clover, and I mean, unless you were the one that somehow screwed over the 9th man.
実は9番の男を殺したのも私なんだよ。
Okay, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
正確に言うと爆死するように仕向けただけだな。
So that wasn't Zero that did that. That was you that encouraged that, and I still think that was a member of Cradle.
最初に大階段の付近を探索していた時、あの男はこっそりと私のそばに近づいてきて自らの名前を名乗ったんだ。その名前には聞き覚えがあった。そのことに気づいた私は奴の耳元に向かってこう囁いた。
I recognized it at once. If you recognized it, that must mean I was right.
どうやらデッドの設定が変えられているらしい。一人で認証を行ってもバングルの起爆タイマーは停止できるようだ。後で落ち合おう。お前は先に5の扉の向こうを調べておいてくれ。とね。そして
それじゃあ皆さんお達者で、僕は一足お先に失礼させてもらうことにするよ。なんでだ、なんで止まらないんだ。違うじゃないか。
Yeah, at the time we thought he was talking about Zero, but...
開けてくれ、開けてくれ、頼む。助けてくれ、ここから出してくれ、出してくれ。ダメだ、もうダメだ、手がない。聞いてくれ、僕は騙されたんだ、あいつに。
You really should have said the name. I guess... we hadn't determined code names yet, huh? Had we? Had we determined code names at this point? I don't quite remember. I want to say we did, and the 9th man specifically was like, that's stupid, I'm not going to do that, so he didn't. But maybe you weren't paying attention to what we called Ace. But yeah, if it was me and I was about to blow it, I'd be like, it's that bastard Ace, he did it! Or it's the old guy in the in the white coat, you know, like throw out some shit like that. I mean, you gave us a gender at least, but...
あの男を始末した理由は4つある。
I'm starting to wonder if we should end here. I think we should. That's 3 episodes. There's an episode of this to go up every single day I'm on vacation, so... Alright. Hope you've enjoyed. We've had a lot of fun tying up of things this session, but yep. I'll see you when I'm back from vacation. Bye bye.